Hey, it's your boy Bonte83 for Successful Convicts, and today we have an interview with a successful convict. Tell them who you are and where you from.
My name is Darnell Harris. I'm from Gary, Indiana.
All right, tell the viewers, what was your life like growing up in Gary?
My life in Gary, it was simple. It was cool. Unfortunately, at that time.
Like where did you live at in Gary?
We stayed on the east side of Gary, Indiana, which is we call it Glen Park.
Is that like a hood?
It's like almost like a hood. Everybody got their different sections of the city. Ours was east side Glen Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that anywhere like by where Michael Jackson was?
No, we was on the opposite side.
Okay.
They got called the low end and the high end.
Yeah.
We stayed in the high, so like the higher you got, the more kind of like fortunate you was.
Was it like gangs and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, we had the GDs, Vice Lords,
Okay.
Latin Kings.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So is it like majority? Was it majority like black people?
No, we had
Mexicans too.
It's kind of funny though. We had blacks, it was whites, it was Mexicans, it was Puerto Ricans. We ain't never seen no Somalians though.
No.
No Arabs.
Yeah.
None of that shit. It's either you black, you white, you Mexican, or you Puerto Rican.
Yeah, typical. Similar like that in Chicago, which is like the neighbor to Gary, not too far. You got Hammond in between, Hammond, Indiana, but
in Chicago.
Yeah, it wasn't that far. Okay, now what led you to crime and ultimately to prison? What would you say?
Man, trying to survive, money. Gary, you know what I'm saying? We didn't have the jobs that they got like out in Minnesota. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was only the mill, and all that was
the mill. What's that?
Steel mill.
Steel mill. Okay.
U.S. Steel mill. You know what I mean? That was a big industry. It's still industry real big back in the day, and
like about how big is Gary? Like about how many people would you say?
Man, I don't say like.
Well, back then, about how many people?
I won't say probably like close to 80,000.
80,000?
Yeah.
100,000?
100,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And the majority, you would say, like the majority of the industry was from the steel mill.
From the steel mill.
Okay.
So if your parents are staying in the steel mill, working the steel mill, you was poor.
Yeah. So like, what was your home like? Like,
oh,
father, mother? Was you just with your mother?
No, we had a house of mother, father, my brother, younger brother. So
So it was just y'all four?
It was just four.
And then what like at what age did you like start getting into like the street life, the street culture?
I don't really like street culture. Like I had cousins. They was vice lords. They was well known, and we hung around. You go to your cousin's house and kick it. Right. It's like when you go to your cousin's house, now you're in a different section of the neighborhood as a city. And
they didn't stay where you stayed?
No.
Okay.
No. So when you go down on the low end, which is where they stayed at, it's like, oh, that's my cousin so and so. They stay over on the east side. You know what I mean? And because we had a pretty big family, so it was just typical. We was into girls. You know what I'm saying? Sports. We had our neighborhood basketball team, football team. We be on our bikes. Like the gangs, you know what I mean?
So it's kind of like you lived here, but this is where you basically grew up and kick it at.
Yeah, I mean, it was all over.
Did you go to school over there too?
No,
okay.
No.
So like at what age did because for most people it progresses. You don't just, more than likely, you don't just come out the womb into like crime and criminal aspects of life. It comes a part, like for me it was like high school age. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, some people start younger, some people start older, you know what I mean?
No, it was more like you know what I'm saying, as far as a group, like I said, we was into sports, we had our neighborhood, You know, we thought we was this and that. We go play other hoods and basketball, football, whatever. You know, we had the throne like shit, East Side. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, and we had the elders, our elders, like uncles and stuff like that. They was banging and stuff like that. So we was like basically like little homies. You know what I'm saying? And it carried over to junior high, from junior high, high school. So now we're at the point like we represent the sex pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I couldn't go down on the low end by myself unless somebody knew like, oh, that's Hines' cousin. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
If I go on the east side, oh, that's Hines' cousin. So we had a pretty big family and they were scattered all over. So fortunately, I was able to get my pass.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
it's basically like segregation amongst a certain group of people. It's not segregated so much as like, blacks, Hispanics, whites. It's even segregation amongst the blacks. Like, yeah. Pretty much. Especially with the gang culture and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So what led you on that path to prison? Like, did you have juvenile records? Or did it just kick off in your adult years?
It kicked off in my adult years.
Explain that process. Going from the so-called straight and narrow path to the crooked side.
Man, it was kind of crazy. I was into the women and shit, getting a little money out of them, you know what I'm saying? Pole pimping pretty much. So it was like one summer, I had came back to Indiana because at the time I was staying in Indianapolis. And I came back to Indiana, you know what I'm saying, 4th of July holiday. I ran into some guys. I grew up from the neighborhood. They ended up leaving Gary around 85, sophomore year. Came up to Minnesota.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? One of the big homies came, then he sent for his little brother, and then, the other homie that I hung out with, you know what I'm saying, he ended up migrating to Minnesota after he graduated. But I was still in high school because I was the youngest one out of the three of us. And so I seen them, and man, they had big-ass herringbone, diamonds. They was riding slick, you know what I'm saying, back then. And I ran into them, man. They was like, what's up, Embraced me, showed me all kind of love, and, we kicked it and all that. And he was like, man, you know what I'm saying, we're up in Minnesota, it's popping. You know what I'm saying, you should come down and kick it. I'm like, man, I ain't, because I ain't never been outside of Gary at that time besides Chicago or something like that. Anything further than that, I never went. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I ran into some relatives that I haven't seen in 10 years. And guess what? They was in Minnesota. You know what I mean? My cousin, she had brought 4 or 5 different girlfriends with her. So I'm tweaking now.
She brought them from Minnesota?
To visit, you know what I'm saying? They just
yeah.
rolled with it, came down to Gary, we had a big family picnic, and she brought her homegirls.
Right.
You know so I'm like, damn, it's like that. So now I'm getting curious. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm coming down and fuck with y'all. So, excuse my French, but end up going down there, and man, they was on. You know what I mean? It was something I ain't never seen before. You know what I mean? Got in the city and see how shit was, how they was doing things. And
about what year was that?
It's 95.
95? That's when you came to Minnesota?
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you came up here, did you just come with like a hobo, just come with your bag, or did you come stay with family? Did you come get with your own boys?
I came in, actually, you know what I'm saying, I had a car. And I drove up here, no license, expired tabs, all kind of shit.
Right, yeah, that's how basically was riding.
Came up here, man, and I started the square job. I was working at Burger King at night, McDonald's in the daytime. I had a little female I was staying with. Well, actually, I was staying with my auntie and them, but, on the weekends we gonna hang out, and I ventured, you know what I'm saying? What I was doing in Gary, I started doing in Minnesota, you know what I'm saying? Pole pimping. Slid up in the crib. Everything was cool, and then next thing you know, my money funny. When the money get to funny, the honey start acting funny.
Yeah.
And so, I'm having problems. I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? And I'm hanging out with the guys one day, and I'm seeing them get money, but I never understood, you know what I'm saying, how they was getting money. He broke it down to me, man. Hit me with old bags, and hey.
So what was they doing?
Oh, they were selling dope.
Okay.
Selling
What kind of dope?
crack.
Crack, okay, yeah. You know you got crack, you got
yeah.
you got heroin.
Yeah, they was on the crack epidemic. That's when it was booming. And he was like, set me down at the table like Kane and Mr. Society. You know what I'm saying? With the goddamn baby Gerber jobs.
Yeah.
No razor blade in the bag. He's like, hey, boop, boop. That's 10, that's 20, that's a dub. And ever since, he said, you can throw it in your mouth if you want to, your pockets, however. He said, one thing about this shit, man, don't get caught. And man, I took it and I ran. You know what I'm saying? I took it and I ran with it, man.
And then how long after you got in would you say before you wind up going to prison, getting caught?
Man, I had a nice little run from like 93. I had like a 6-year run. You know what I'm saying? From 94. 94, and I got jammed up in like 99. 99. I got indicted in 98 and I went away in 99.
Okay, so they hit you with the indictment and then...
So I fought for a little bit and after that it was over with.
Okay.
You know?
So what was that when you did you go to trial? Did you plead guilty?
No. I took a plea.
Okay, and this was the state?
No, this was the feds.
Oh, the feds?
Yeah,
the feds indicted?
Okay. Yeah, they, you know what I'm saying? They wanted me to turn around and turn over, but you know what I'm saying? I tried to play my hand as best as I could, and they was like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we got one for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Time for you to go in.
Yeah, it was like 120. I never even understood. 120, like, what's that? You know, I'm thinking like 120 weeks or some shit like that, because I don't know nothing about the Fed system. And my uncle was like jumping up and down, yeah, that's a good deal. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, huh? You know, I'm still confused. Then when they finally sat me down and told me what 120 was, man, I thought my life just turned around and looked at me and was like, all right, I'll let you in 10.
It was the 120 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 120 months, 10 years, federal.
Unlike a lot of the state time, they give you the time in months.
Right.
And you have to be good in your division of 12, you know?
That shit was crazy, man.
Because you know 120 divided by 10 is 12, so you know that's 10 years, 120, when it all settles to you, because in the midst of going through it, I don't know, I know I was sort of the same way, you know, trying to do division, like, you know, with the 151 months, like, whoa, you know, that sounds like a lot, you know, and then in the midst while the judge talking and your lawyer and the prosecutor, and you over there trying to do math in your head because it's already, your mind is everywhere. Now you got to do something, you got to do a math problem. Yeah, it can be crazy. So, what was that first day of prison like? I mean, like first, like, did you go straight to prison? You had to turn yourself in? Because I know the feds do it, like, you could turn yourself in. Sometimes they take you straight from court, straight to the back, you know, but it's still a little process. Sometimes you got to wait in the county.
Actually, they gave me like a week.
You get a week out?
They gave me a week out.
So when you caught your case, you was out on bond?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to fight it.
So how long was you in, like, county jail?
No, I was in the county jail for about, maybe like a couple months.
And then you took a
3
plea?
to 6 months. Then, no, actually I was in there for like 3 to 6 months. After that, I got out on the signature bond. I was fighting my case. After I took the plea, boom, they gave me a week.
Okay. So how long was that process from being out on bond to taking the plea?
It was about like probably like 4 months.
Okay, so altogether you say about 10 months.
Yeah.
6 months in the county.
4 months out.
4 months out, then bam. So then what happened? You turn yourself into where? To the prison?
No, they came and got me down at, well, actually, turned myself into a federal building.
Okay.
From the federal building, they transported me out to Rochester.
Is that federal building in St. Paul?
No, it was downtown at the time.
Minneapolis?
Yeah, Minneapolis downtown.
That's like right across the street from the The jail. Yeah.
Underground.
Yeah.
They brought me on. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Like, what? This is some man. That shit was crazy.
That's why I went from the city jail underground across the street to the Fairfield. That's crazy.
Yeah. I can remember that time. I was like, man, I'm trying to plea all. You know, I just got a little son because my son was just born.
Right. Every excuse.
Yeah, that was the main one.
Yeah, can I wait till my toe heal up?
Nah, I ain't know that. I was just like,
I'm saying, you reaching, you trying to use any old excuse to stay out.
I'm gonna tell you something he never told me. I'm gonna tell you something that the judge told me that I'd never forget, and it stands true. He was like, do what you can, don't worry about the rest. And I was like,
that's a rough one.
Man.
Because you got to worry about the rest, because it's going to happen. I mean, okay, so you turn yourself in, you go to the Fairfield, then how long was it a wait before you went to prison?
I'm going to say about like 3 weeks, man.
3
they
weeks.
were actually shuttling me around. We was going from one place a week.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a federal holding facility in Minnesota.
No, they don't.
Right. So, you finally get to the point where you're going to prison. You know how long you're going for. What was that first day like in prison?
It was crazy. It was like going to the county, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know how when you go to the county, you got to wait, you know, for your sentencing or to come get you to go to court or whatever. And, you know, seeing all these different people looking at you, like what I do next, you know what I'm saying, what I'm supposed to be doing,
right?
Where I'm asleep at, or, you know, what's what and who's who, and, you know, like pretty much like, damn, I need somebody to talk to my lawyer, you know what I mean? I'm thinking I can still get out of this, like,
oh, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I need to get on the phone and talk to somebody. At the same time, I'm just wondering like how this shit's supposed to work. Like,
so like explain, because you say it was sort of the same, but explain the difference between the county and prison, because it's a different environment. You know what I mean? For instance, in the county, majority of people in the county, they don't know what they face. You know, you got people in there, they might be in there on a murder case. They don't know if they're gonna get life, if they're gonna beat it. You got people that's in there on a DUI. You know they might get a couple months. They might get probation. But when you get to prison, people know how long they're gonna be there, and they settled in for that amount of time. Whereas county jail is always like temporary.
Yeah, you don't really
any day you can be in there, and you, next day you can be out of there.
But truthfully, I didn't even really pay no attention.
Okay, so what level prison did they send you to?
I went to a medical facility.
Okay. So medical facility basically covers all levels.
Levels, yeah.
Okay, so like, seeing that it's all levels, what was the conditions? Was it cells? Was it dorms?
It was a little bit of both, cells and dorms. It was actually looking like regular like hospital rooms.
Oh,
Some
okay.
was, you know, because it was a medical facility.
Right.
You know, and you had inmates like myself. You know, I guess they got like the programs where you can sign up to help the other people that are sick.
Trustees, basically.
Yeah. You know, other than that, it was just, you know, I was so messed up, man. I wasn't really paying no attention. I didn't come out or nothing. I was just like, this shit really happening. You know what I mean? And then when I did come out, you know, to eat or whatever, you know, it was just like, man, stay on your toes. You know what I'm saying? You got your head on the swivel. You're trying to pay attention to everything, even if it ain't your business. You're just trying to make sure, you know, you looking out for yourself.
Right.
You know, because, you know.
So did they still have like the dorms or the units?
What you mean? It was just like, it was like a dorm. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you ever been to Florence. No, I don't know.
No.
Yeah, it's like a hotel, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was kind of like open a little bit, like no, you wasn't there. You know, okay. Cause I'm trying to explain to you, it was like you know, they had rooms, like a hospital, pretty much.
So it's different sections.
Yeah.
Was it like different floors?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got different floors.
Okay, and then do you got a room or it's a cell?
It's actually a room, but it's like a room.
But the door is locked.
No, yeah, they come and lock the door.
Right. And did you have a toilet in your room?
No, it wasn't a toilet.
Okay.
It's just like a regular boom boom, you know. And you get to pop out where they come, you know.
So like if you had to use the bathroom or something like that, you hit the buzzer or something,
Yeah.
and then they just come let you out?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Okay. What was one of the worst things you saw in prison? Now, hold on, before we get that, did you do all your time at that prison?
No.
Okay. So how long was you at that prison?
I was there for about like 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah.
And then they shipped you to another prison?
Yeah, I went to the camp.
Okay, prison camp.
The prison camp.
Okay, and how was that?
Man.
I'm sure at this time the reality had set in
Yeah.
that you was in prison. Okay.
After that 6 months, they sent me out to Duluth, Minnesota prison camp. And that's where, you know, it seemed like it was still fresh. You know, it was different. You know, I'm thinking like this is a dream. I'm gonna get out like it may be a year. You know, it still hadn't settled in that I'm gonna be out for a long time.
Right.
And you know, when I got there, you know, it was just a little bit more open. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What was the facility like there? Like what was it rooms? Was it cells? Was it dorms?
I mean, it was like dorms. I mean, if you ever heard of it, you know, it was like
It's an old Air Force base, right?
right.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like a college dorm room, like a small little college or something like that.
Okay.
It was like dorms. You know, they had the two main doors. You know, the front and the side door. You know, and we didn't have no doors. You know, in the rooms you could just pop in.
So it's just open rooms.
Open rooms.
Okay. And is that the only place you went?
No.
You stayed there? Then you went to another prison?
Yeah.
Okay.
Florence, Colorado.
Okay. And was it any reason was the custody levels was dropping?
Yeah.
Okay. So at the camp, then where did you go?
Florence, Colorado.
And what is that?
It's the Supermax. But they got different levels of all this. It's a big facility where they got the Supermax, they got a high, they got all different type of levels.
So why did they send you from a camp to a Supermax?
No, they got the prison camp too as well.
Oh, so
they got all levels.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you
it's
went
like they got their
you
own.
went to the camp, you didn't go to the Supermax.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just saying, but when you say Florence, that's what they.
Yeah, but it is. You're right, because they
umbrella.
got. I believe they got women's prison there too.
No.
They don't.
No.
I know they got the ADX.
That's the Supermax.
Yeah, they got the Supermax, then they got a USP too,
Right.
and they got the camp.
Yeah.
So you went to the camp. So you went from camp to camp.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was basically the same thing as.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So being that you've been in 3 different prisons, what was the worst thing you saw at the first prison?
Well, I didn't really see nothing too much. You know.
No fights or nothing like that?
Yeah, I seen a couple fights. You know. Nothing just grotesque, nothing like that. It was just, you know, it was just one of those deals where, you know.
I mean, did you like, being that was your first prison, did you experience like anything that, you know, that make you say, man, this is really inhumane even? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you see some stuff, it may not be a stabbing or something like that, but it's some pretty, and then being that there was a medical camp, you know.
Well, I do recall.
Hold on. So, being that you was in 3 different prisons, give us something that the worst thing you saw in each prison.
But I didn't really see nothing. I ain't gonna say. When I was at the Rochester, that's pretty my first time ever seeing, like, you know what I'm saying, a man actually turned himself to be a woman. You know what I'm saying? A girl, like, he had boobs and everything, and you know what I mean?
And he was in the men's prison?
He was in the men's prison.
And he was like he was in your dorm, your unit?
No, I used to see him in passing, like when you go to child, you know.
Did they stay with the rest of like general population? Or was they were separate?
Like he was well known. Like everybody knew who he was. You know what I'm saying? And that was some real crazy shit. I ain't never seen no shit like that before. Like, you know, they was actually going up in there like that. You know what I mean? We talking about men actually trying to get with this dude.
Right.
You know? And they took care of him like swell, like this is my woman. Like ain't nobody, you know, they was calling claims for this man.
Was it like violence connected to that?
I didn't really see no violence. It's just the fact that
I mean, it's, you know what I mean, like fighting, you know, it's be like, you know, one woman to 1,000 men.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell, you know what I mean, who's the bosses.
Right.
You know what I mean? These big stocky cats, and you know what I mean? And, you know, everybody got, oh, you want something? You go holler at dude, because, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's that dude. You know, he own all this. You know?
Okay.
And you don't want no problems, but even though I never even seen them, but you know, it's just the fact that, you know, the word of mouth that's what it is. So
okay, then your next prison, the camp.
Man, I seen this dude like get punished. Like
when you say punished, what do you mean?
Like I ain't never seen nobody get whooped. Like it wasn't even a fight.
Oh, a beat down.
He got a beat down, man, and it was like. I was like literally like right there, and it was like you could just feel the air just pass you. Like the dude was big, and I'm telling him like, man, you could just almost feel his punches. Like that shit was like shit when his face was just crushing. You know what I mean? And it was like, damn, like you know what I mean? It made me feel like motherfuckers that big, and they put hands on people. Like man, you gotta have some heat. And he must have really pissed dude off.
But it was just a fist fight.
It was just a fist fight. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
And this was
it was like he damn near had chairs in his hands the way he was hitting dude. Like, God damn, I ain't never seen nobody get hit like that before, man. That's some crazy shit.
And what was that fight over?
TV.
The TV?
The TV.
So like
you know.
So you was this happened in the TV room.
This happened in the TV room, where it's a general TV room where everybody gets to watch TV, but it's only one remote, and it's the first come first serve. So
that's like the prison room.
Just like the prison room, right? Don't touch it. You know what I mean? If whoever get that first, you get to control it. You know what I mean? But if you happen to go to the bathroom or something, break, somebody come back and turn it, or you know what I mean? You got to, depending on the type of cat you is, you could probably give it a pass or whatever, but some people take that TV real serious, you know what I mean? So if you there first and you control it, everybody got to watch what you watch. Ain't no schedule on the wall or none of that.
Right.
You know, so
yeah, I've been to prison where they had the TV room scheduled.
Yeah.
Because they try to control it and start having a TV committee and all that type of stuff. Try to cut down on them because, like you said, that TV room, a lot of people done got they wig split because of that TV room. And then you got the remote warriors, the person that want to just hog the remote. They just want to keep the remote all day.
Yeah.
So it's basically like they controlling the TV, and then you gonna always have that challenge. So was it an argument or?
They didn't even tell. He ain't give him an opportunity.
When no words said.
Nothing.
I mean, what happened?
Ah man, he probably, you know what? He probably said something real slick to him, and my man came back. He had his back turned to him, so by the time he turned around, crack, and he didn't stop. You know what I mean? It was like he was combination, and dude didn't have a chance. He couldn't even get up. Every time he tried to get up, boom, 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 get on down.
Was everybody like in shock?
Man, didn't nobody want to touch dude. You know what I'm saying? Like this one brother came in by his size, probably even bigger, got on his back. Now you know you something if you punishing somebody and somebody just as big as you riding your back. That's all adrenaline, man. Like he had to, man. I don't know. He had, man. You hate?
Was it bloody?
Not really. He was swole though.
Yeah.
He was swole.
Lumped up.
Some people don't get it like that, and some people do. Because I remember another brother got punished. Same thing, TV room. You know what I'm saying? You probably know him. And I think he gave him a 2-piece, and he leaked like fresh chicken. You know what I'm saying? Leaked everywhere.
Yeah.
You know. That was correct. You know, I seen a couple wars, man. I seen a couple wars where a brother, he must knew the taekwondo type. He was like one of them cats, like, and man put a piece on him, bing, 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 bing. His eye knocked his shit out of socket. You know what I'm saying? Dude didn't even get a punch off, man. He put a move on so cold, man. I'm talking about motherfucking eyeball was just laying out on the floor on the mat. The dude was like,
His eyeball came out?
man, I think it did.
Wow. And then at the last prison.
Man, it was. I ain't never seen nothing grotesque, but you know what I'm saying. As you see him with him by, you be like, "What happened?" Because the sheet wet. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was the first time I ever. You know what? Again, somebody that we probably know. They laughing and joking just because you know you think you swole because you big, you got hands. This brother was so cold. You talking about boxing? I mean. He lit dude up so cold, I'm talking about stretched him out on top of all his blood. You know what I'm saying? And that was some crazy shit too. Like I said, man, it's all fist fights.
What was that over?
The basketball court.
Oh.
Yeah, that'll get you too.
Yeah.
Basketball, you know.
I think some of the worst things are TV, basketball, sports, period. Just sports, you know, whether it's the physical sports or the like gambling, like sports, like you know, spade table, dominoes. That type of stuff. And then chicken day, testosterone be at an all-time high.
You like talking about a marathon?
You could barely brush a brother on chicken day. Yeah. He want to fight.
Yeah. Cutting in line on chicken day.
Okay, now you went through all those different things and stuff like that. Now your time is up. Describe how it felt walking out of prison.
It felt good.
Of course, yeah.
Just, you know what I mean? Just a little bit. You know, the trip I think about it was I was worried. I ain't gonna say I was worried, but they was like, man, when you leave, don't look back. And you know, I ended up looking back, like, not like it was like a myth, but I look back on the strength of just saying, man, I did it, you know what I mean?
Right.
And everything I went through, I did it on my own because I really did the time. They say you do time, other people do time with you, but I felt like I did it by myself. And the myth was, you know what I'm saying, don't look back because you will come back.
Right.
And unfortunately, that what happened. When I look back, I ended up coming back like maybe 2 months later.
Really?
Really? Yeah.
So you believe that myth?
I ain't gonna say I believed it, but it happened. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, oh, you know, it wasn't that I was listening to the myth. It was the fact that I wanted to say that.
So what happened that brought you back?
Man, I came out and ran into some old people. They was partying New Year's Eve. We supposed to be in that night because I'm at the halfway house at this time.
Okay.
You come in after 9 o'clock, you know what I'm saying, you automatic breathalyzer. And you know, at the time I did, you know what I'm saying, had me a couple drinks or whatever. And man, it seemed like it was that day, New Year's Eve, everybody trying to get back. And we had a line of people. So it's past 9 o'clock, so how could you check everybody in and, you know.
Right.
So by the time it got to me, it's always past 9 o'clock. So I'm trying to find my case, but unfortunately.
Because you was in line.
I was in line. But, you know, everybody, you know, trying to get that 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
But it should have been like, they closed the door at 9, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody can get in, so we get it like that. But I was able to walk in, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, I walked, well, because everybody at the same time can't punch in, you know what I mean? It's going to take maybe a couple minutes for everybody to actually punch in and get it stopped, but, you know, it is what it is. It happened and shit.
So they violated you?
They violated me, and
they violated you for the felon, the breathalyzer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long was the violation?
Oh man, I remember it like another year or something.
I mean, how much time did they say?
Like I got another year. I had to get back. So at the time when I did transfer to Florence, they had a program they call a drug class.
Okay, the drug program.
Drug program, yeah. You get X amount of months
Called
off.
RDAP, ain't it?
Yeah.
Residential drug
Treatment program,
Yeah.
So they give you a certain amount of months off. Depending on when you slide in, you get up. Like anything else, if we give you $50,000 loan, up to $50,000, meaning that anywhere from 0 to 50,000. And at that time, it was either 0 or up to a year. A lot of people was banking on a year, but it was so many people going to the program because they're trying to get that year. And, you know, it was like
and then that depends also on the prison, too. The counselors and the drug counselors, how much they put you in for, something like that.
Oh, okay. I never even,
because I remember hearing people that was going to the drug program. Oh, you go here, you getting a full year.
Oh, yeah.
You go here, they only give you 6 months.
Yeah, that was all here, so I never even.
Okay.
It was just pretty much, you know, when you was due and they would have had a spot for you, and if you got in right around the time the class actually started, you could get possibly up that time. Or other than that, is you can get in at whatever time, and you know, like I said, it's 0 up to.
So basically, you had to get that time that they gave you off early. You had to give it back.
Yeah.
And then where did you go?
I went back to where I came when I left. The same place.
Back to Florence?
Yeah, they sent me to the same spot back.
So how was it walking back in there?
Oh man, did
you think about that when you look back?
What they thought?
No, did you think about, man, I shouldn't have looked back like they said? Did that even cross your mind?
No, it didn't. What crossed my mind was like, I came back and I failed. You know, just thinking like, damn, you know, people was looking at me like, this motherfucker, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right, because I imagine a lot of the same people were still there.
Yeah, because, you know, it's like, how you just come back and this motherfucker's trying to get out and you come back 2 months, you gave motherfucker 60 days and you back, you know what I mean? So, the people in the program, directors and all that shit. And, you know, the funny thing about it, when I left, the actual warden, when he's come to the ceremony, he's like the dean of principals, whatever. He made a comment, and it's damn true to this day. It's kind of funny he said some shit like that, because you would think he was trying to inspire.
Right.
He was like,
just keeping it real, basically.
I don't know. You know
what did he say?
Man, he said, yeah, congratulations, you know, hope everything work out for you, but I'm going to leave the light on for you. When you come back, I'm going to have gold doorknob handles, gold light fixture, I'm going to have a light on for you. You know what I'm saying? And goddamn it, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It was like deja vu, like boom. But you know, they never understood really that. I don't know, man. Sometimes I wonder, do the staff even know how it is to be incarcerated for this long, and you go through these motions and different events in your life, because they say prisons is like been in the war, you know, post-traumatic.
Yeah, PTSD.
You know, when I was able to express my story, share my story. And actually when I did start talking, you know what I'm saying, people was kind of like, wow, they never looked at that part of being released. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have a support system. You know what I mean? It
very important.
Just threw me out there like, what do I do? And what I thought that I was doing, I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, but I didn't. There was no confidence in there. You know
so before you left, you knew your date's coming.
Yeah.
Did you make any type of plans? Did you prepare for you going out?
I mean, the best to my ability. You know what I mean? The only thing was, well, you know, another thing too. A lot of programs that they was pitching. You know what I mean? Those programs is not available. You know what I mean? It's people that using those programs just for their own beneficial, you know.
Yeah.
Well, they wasn't out there trying to give brothers jobs and all like that. They were just trying to get you to come to these meetings and sign your name and get the grant money.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I had to do it like I, you know, did it when I first came to Minnesota. You know, you had the option. When you leave here, you go look for you a job. You had to come back with a sheet saying you've been here. They want to know all your whereabouts.
So checklist,
yeah. So for me, it was like, you know what I mean? I had no place to stay, none of that. And you couldn't come outside unless you was going job searching.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was like, it was a must, you know what I mean? And then Some places wasn't hiring. They wouldn't hire you. You know what I mean?
So in the halfway house, they don't have resources for you to get
They
jobs.
some do, but like I said, they
It's basically if you know somebody,
Yeah.
then it's like
because it's like it seemed like they all work
the
together.
inmates help each other.
That's it.
Right, yeah.
You know, you want a person to find out the word, they let everybody know. You know what I mean? So we had people going to the same spot. You got a car, you know what I mean, made it work because it got to the point where you can have you some money. You was trying to work actually so you get that pass.
To get outside.
So you get outside and do your thing,
Yeah.
whatever it is your thing was.
Right.
But you had to work though. And the downside part about it is that they was taking like 50% of that money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So now you went, you did the violation. What was it like getting out that second time?
It was kind of like the same.
Did you look back this time?
No, I didn't. You know what I mean? Hey, I got on a plane. You know what I'm saying?
So you did sort of believe it.
Yeah, oh for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, after that one. You know
So
what I mean?
let me ask you this. So you got out the second time, you didn't look back. Did you go back a third time?
No.
So it kind of like holds true.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes people say things only are true that you give power to. I don't believe that. I kind of believe some things just really are true. It's just weird in a weird type of way, but it just works that way. So that's like almost like a classic example.
It's almost made it seem like, I mean, now that I look at it, you know what I'm saying, like, some people go to prison, and when they get out, they end up going back. It's almost like a thing saying, like, you know what, you didn't get enough time. You wasn't ready,
Right.
you know what I mean, because you came back, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, I mean, that's how I look at it. But as far as thinking about it, saying that myth is true, if I did believe it, that would probably stand hold true to it that I just wasn't ready. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Okay, so now bringing us up to speed to where you at now, what you got going on now?
Man, I work for this Fortune 500 company. I'm familiar, like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Caterpillar.
Caterpillar, yeah. Make the
Crane equipment.
right stuff you see it when they working on the road and stuff like that.
That's actually what they do.
Yeah,
You know?
they even make clothes like Caterpillar boots.
Oh yeah, they Fortune 500. They do it all. They mine, infrastructure, construction. They do.
So how did you wind up getting the job with Caterpillar?
Yeah, I was just on the internet surfing, trying to find me a job. You know what I'm saying? At that time, I was messed up out here, you know. Yeah, shit. I tried everything, you know what I mean? Like they say, the old shit wasn't working no more. So I had to do something new.
Exactly.
And I was on the internet surfing and just applying to all different jobs and places, you know, and man, I ended up getting a call back maybe like 4 or 5 months later. Out of the blue, they called me and was like, would you like to have an interview? I'm like, who was this? And, you know, she's like, Caterpillar. I'm like, Caterpillar? She's like, yeah, would you like to come work for Caterpillar? I'm like, yeah. She was like, oh, when you come? I'm like, shit, today. You know what I'm saying? She's like, nah, we had to set something up. So, man, all praises due. I came in for the interview, man, sold myself like a champ, you know what I mean? And this Caterpillar saved my life.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, because a lot of our viewers are in the same situation. When you doing these applications, you know, on that part where they ask if you're a felon or whatever, they ask the word they use because sometimes it's different on different applications. But that question that they ask pertaining to your criminal background, do you say yes or do you say no? Or do you just leave it blank?
It depends. For me, the question that was asked, has I ever been convicted of a felon? And at that time... have you ever been convicted of a felony? Or was it, have you ever been convicted of a felony in the past? Sometimes it'd be like 7 years. 7 years.
Like
it was like that. It's like, how you ever been convicted as a felon in the last 7 years? How you ever been convicted of a felon?
Okay.
So, but the knowledge that I had before I left, it was told to me that that's a question that it was like I checked no because I had already did my 10 years.
True.
So I was 7 years already past.
Right. So it's technically not a lie.
It's not a lie. I didn't
Right.
lie, you know.
Exactly.
And then on top of that, some companies will do a when they do a background check, it's going to be probably for their local, the state. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because
depending on the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be that basic, like almost like landlords now with the doing the rental applications. You got to do a background check, and like you said, for certain jobs, they'll just do the local, because it's levels to the searches. I found out, and each level costs a little bit more.
Right, a lot of companies don't want to pay that
certain
money.
places that's doing these background check, they just want a basic check to make sure you not, you know, you don't have a warrant now.
Mm-hmm.
They won't go into like your history and stuff like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Depending on the job.
Yeah, and two, then it costs money, and a lot of jobs don't want to, you know what I mean?
They don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, they don't want to pay for it. So fortunately, I was able to slide on by. But like you said, I didn't lie. You know,
Right.
It's been past 7 years.
And then some companies are felon friendly.
Yeah, but not the ones that are really paying. That's going to put you in. You know.
No, that's not true. Some
I never.
you have to try your shot.
Yeah.
And see, that's the overall thing that a lot of
Yeah, it's depressing.
felons coming home, they caught up with that, what people say,
Right.
you know, because it's widely known, or it's said a lot that, when you after you catch a case, you can't vote.
Well, let me say that.
After catch a case, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Well, you
And
actually could.
That's not always true. As far as the voting thing goes,
Yeah.
it's per state.
Oh,
Because they even have some states where you can actually vote in prison.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably
In certain states.
It wasn't then like that.
Yeah, it was.
20 years ago.
Yeah, depending on the state. Each state is like a separate entity.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing too about you at a federal case is they, like you said, they gonna do a statewide search. So
nothing didn't pop
like
up.
it's not gonna pop up because your case was federal, so it's not even gonna show up anyway.
Right.
Because that's a whole nother search, which costs. That's another level of searching, and it costs more.
Right. And then there's keywords into your application too. You know what I'm saying? Just for FYI, they got the computers that kind of like look for these special keywords that the company look for, and
Like what? Give us an example.
Oh man, I was just filling out an application, like insuring. Like my job is ensuring materials get delivered in a safely proper, fashionable manner. You know what I mean?
Right.
Stuff like that versus it kind of like sits off a hit to, you know what I mean?
Oh, you mean in your resume?
In the resume.
Okay,
sorry.
keywords in the resume. Okay, because I was lost for a minute too.
Right.
Yeah, you got it. The resume game, and that's just a whole nother thing. It's almost like in prison, the people that know how to do legal work. It's a language.
Yeah.
And it's all about language, and you have to learn these different languages to use them as tools to basically guarantee your success.
Or to however you want to move.
So what else you got going on? You working?
Oh yeah, man, been working for like 8 years now. Just grinding like every day. Went from just 40 hours to 50 hours to 60 hours. I'm talking about, you know what I mean? Rain, hail, sleet, or snow.
Right.
Didn't have no car.
You do what you gotta do.
I made sure. With one thing I didn't make sure. I made sure I got to that job, man. That was like my lifeline. And over the years, me not knowing a lot of things because, only thing in my mind I was thinking about was surviving, and surviving was getting to that job because it gave me a little hope,
Right.
And I think it was, I want to say 2018, when man sat me to the side and I was looking like to my benefits, and he's like, "Hey man, you see that money right there?" He was like, that's your money." I think it was probably maybe like 36,000.
Okay.
He said, "You can get half of that, or you can take like You know, I was like, what? I said, man, stop playing. He's like, no, that's your money. I'm like, man, like, I couldn't believe
And
it.
that's, you mean like pension wise?
No, it was like,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because the
from
company
working,
that I work for, they match whatever I put in. So
Right.
I try to maximize my, 401k. And, man, over the course of the years, I think it was, I want to say 8, 4, 6, 3, 5 years, you know what I'm saying? I accumulated just saving like $36,000.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So, like, how has your situation progressed? Like, okay, so when you got out the second time, about how many years ago was that?
It was 20, I'm gonna say about 13, 2009, that's 2020. So, what's that?
It's about 11 years?
Yeah, 11 years,
okay.
11 years ago.
So 11 years ago, you got out
Mhm.
basically nothing.
Nothing.
Because you already said you didn't really have the support system.
Didn't have
So
nothing.
where you at now?
Man, I'm still
job,
working.
How's your living situation?
I just bought a house.
Okay, you just bought a
You know,
house.
like I said, through that process, a lot of stuff I didn't know. And when I found out that I had that extra assets and money, I started looking to straighten out my credit, you
Right.
know.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Before I found out this information, I was already working on it. You know, I established me a banking account, had my money going into their direct deposit, you know.
What about your transportation?
I didn't have any transportation.
I mean now.
Oh, now, yeah, man, I just bought me a nice car.
Okay. So basically, what I want our viewers to know, that as far as being a successful convict, you know, a lot of the things that, you know, we look at, especially coming from the criminal side, you know, it's like when you're in that crime world and you're in that crime, you know, the whole world of it, it's like you look at people working, going to work, you know, because crime basically revolves around fast money.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at the working man as like in that movie, I can't think of the name of the movie, but
Fences?
when the little kid told his father, man, the working man's a sucker.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
A Bronx Tale, I think that was
Oh,
it.
okay.
So anyway, that's basically the mentality the criminal world has toward the straight and narrow world.
Yeah.
That the working man, you know, why would you go and slave for 40 hours, you know what I mean? But, though everybody can't be a business owner or a boss, you know what I mean? Or that's not for everybody. It's not that you can't be, you just don't want to be. And then sometimes you got to crawl before you walk. You got to build up, you know, like you said, the finances to get to that level where you can step out on your own and stuff like that.
I mean, to cut you off, you know, I come from a working class family. Like, you know, I'm talking about straight hardcore.
Yeah,
they put like 30,
a lot of
40
people
years
do.
in. So it wasn't the fact that, you know what I mean? I think that I wanted it a little bit more easier. You know, even though I struggled.
Right. But
Even
that's
though
what I'm
I
saying. You saw that. You come from the working class family, but you felt like that wasn't for you. You wanted it faster.
It wasn't that was for me. It was just that I didn't, you know what I mean? I never got into the field or the game to where, you know, I'm gonna give me a job. You know what I mean? I couldn't get a job, so the next best thing, I ain't gonna say the next best thing, but that thing came next. So I tried that, and then when I seen what it done, I was cool. Like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to work no more.
So let's back up. Okay, you say at that point when you stepped over into the crime side,
Right.
you couldn't get a job.
Right.
Yet when you got out,
I was able to get a job.
it was the same situation.
Same
You
situation,
couldn't get a job,
I
but you kept going until
being
you found one.
persistent until I found one. Bill collector
Oh.
and shit.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is the same mentality that you have now,
Still
you could
to it.
use then.
Yeah.
You see
A
what
lot
I'm
of stuff
saying?
that, you know, but information is key, because if you don't have the information, it's a lot of things
Well,
you'll miss out on.
what I'm saying is you could have found a job then too, but the allure of the streets, that fast money, maybe you don't feel like you looked at the working man as a sucker, but you look at this dude, he going 5 miles an hour going to work, and you say I can go 20 miles an hour and pass you going to work and make way more. You see what I'm saying? in a sense, it's almost like you saying, hey, I ain't taking that sucker route. I'm going to take this the cool route. This is the thing to do.
Right.
And it's like the more money you start getting, the less and less you start looking toward that way. So, what advice would you give somebody who just getting out, watching this video? What can you tell them? As far as now that they're out, because you haven't been there, they out maybe the first time, maybe the second, third, fourth time. What advice could you give them?
Man, put your plan together, whether it be short term, long term. Get you a plan. Stick to the plan, you know, because it may not look like it's going to happen, but if you stick to it and it's a good plan, it's going to happen. It's going to unfold, and you're not even going to, the tricky part about it is you're not even going to believe it. You know what I mean? So just keep doing what you do, and man, doors going to open up for you that you never thought would open for you. And the crazy thing about it is you got to keep yourself humble, because it's going to be like, almost like magic. You ain't going to know what to do. But if you stick to the plan, you're going to be all right.
All right. So, again, it's Successful Convicts, and that was the interview with Darnell, and we hope you liked it.